Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to Mrs. Blass's book review. We have another great book to read today. I'm sure none of you have ever heard of it before, so I'm very excited for you all to see that. We're going to look into our mystery book sock, and we're going to find out what book we're reading today. So let's put our hand in there. And what are we pulling out? What is this? Harold Snipperpot's Best Disaster Ever. It's by Beatrice Alamagna, and I just finished reading it, and I have to tell you, sorry for the glare, it is so funny and exciting. I'm very excited to share it with all of you today. So here we go. Harold Snipperpot's Best Disaster Ever. Some days feel like complete disasters. You feel turned upside down and it seems impossible that anything good could ever happen. Wait, well, let me tell you the whole story all the way from the beginning. It was 1 week before the disaster and I was turning 7. More than anything, I, Harold Philip Snipperpot, wanted a real birthday party. I had never had one because my parents hated parties. Could you imagine having a parent that didn't like birthday parties? That is just unacceptable. All parents have to like birthday parties. If you want to know why, it's because they were very grumpy people. They never hugged or laughed, and they forgot about kissing me goodnight. And they barely even talked. So each year on my birthday, nothing happened. But this year, I felt extra sad. So sad that my parents got worried. I'm trying to get the whole book in there for you. So worried that they decided to do something about it. Well, call up Mr. Ponzio, Mom said. Everyone in our neighborhood goes to Mr. Ponzio. Mr. Ponzio goes to Mr. Ponzio with their problems. That was his job, to solve people's problems in very original ways. I don't have any kids to send over, but I've got another idea, Mr. Ponzio explained. Don't worry one bit, Mrs. Snipperpot. This party is going to be extraordinary. But will it make our son happy? Yes, of course it will, he said. Trust me, you will never forget it. My parents agreed. On the day of the party, our house looked great, all decked out with ribbons, banners, and rainbows of balloons. When the doorbell rang, I ran to answer it. And whoa! We couldn't believe what we saw. Okay, so before I continue the book, let's make a prediction. What do you think? I want you to think in your mind right now. I want you to think about what do you think is on the other side of that door. So I'm going to count to 5 in my head. Okay, have your prediction? Okay, ready? Let's find out. There were real animals, a whole line of them, winding all the way up the street to our front door. We were flabbergasted. Does anybody know what flabbergasted means? Could you figure it out from the sentence? If you were real animals at your door, do you think that it would be like, oh, nothing, totally cool, I see it every day? Or would you be like, oh, I have nothing to say. I'm flabbergasted. Wow. That's flabbergasted. The animals made their way into the house one by one. At first, everything was fine, and my parents almost seemed to be enjoying themselves. But before too long, something changed. No, but animals in a house. Did you know that a cow can walk upstairs, but he can't go downstairs? Did you know that? The animals began behaving like animals. Large mammals, I know now, are born decorators. They immediately moved the furniture around and opened every drawer. A polar bear clawed the velvet sofa, while a small herd of sheep and pigs gobbled up the stuffing and ate it out of each pillow. A giraffe reached up and chomped the crystals right off of our chandelier. And that was when my father fainted. Upstairs in my room, an elephant was taking a nap in my bed. Oh no! Completely squashed my new electric racetrack. Where was Mr. Ponzio? This was a mess. Meanwhile, a medium-sized flock of birds flew into the kitchen and performed a symphony on my grandmother's china, plates, and cups. A family of turtles and their reptile friends demolished my father's library and chewed an entire shelf of his rare book collection. Wow. This is a crazy book. Does this remind you of a different book that we read in class? Maybe a book that had to do with a special game, a special board game? Think about it. A hippo found their way into the bathroom, and he ran a tub, and he was soaking in it. All her pond pals followed and overflowing the tub and flooding the floor. My poor mom. She was too afraid to look. Frolicking in my mother's closet were a seal, 3 monkeys, an armadillo, and others trying on her skirts and her silk scarves, and they were tearing them to shreds. A goat was wearing my mother's shoes. Our house was destroyed, ruined, turned upside down. Worse yet, it was buried underneath a carpet of animal poo. Every type, when it really stank. The party was absolutely extraordinary, all right. Wow, this is a really big disaster. Do you think they could clean it up? How do you think they're going to clean it up? I'll give you 5 seconds. I want you to think in your mind a prediction. I want you to predict. How do you think that they're going to clean up this mess with all the animals? How are they going to get rid of it? Okay, ready? On your mark, get set, think. Okay, let's see if you're right. Just then, a huge alligator flashed 2 rows of sharp teeth at my parents, who were utterly terrified, and they jumped into a trunk. Oh no, the lid snapped shut, and they locked themselves inside. I was trying to saw the lid off to free them, when out of nowhere, Mr. Ponzio appeared, waving a stick. At the sight of the stick, the elephant panicked and stampeded toward the door. I had just enough time to grab its ears, and the rest of the animals followed us. There I was, on an elephant, galloping through town, while my parents screamed like crazy from inside a steamer trunk, on top of a rhino. What a disaster! But when I looked around, it all suddenly seemed funny. Crowds of people snapped photos in the streets, adding even more commotion and chaos, and I was there at the front of the line when I had the greatest idea. I, Harold Phillips Snipperpot, took charge and led the entire parade toward the fountain, where each animal stopped and took a sip of water, including the rhino, who dropped the steamer trunk and fell on the ground, and it finally opened. My parents climbed out, looking very relieved, and in front of everyone, I could hardly believe it. They gave each other a big hug, just like you see in the movies. Then they each gave me a kiss on my forehead. Seeing those hugs and those kisses, the chameleons displayed their prettiest colors, which reflected in the water and lit up the entire park. Children from all over the neighborhood ran to see. See all the pretty colors? Oh, cool page ahead. Some climbed the giraffe's neck, while others sat atop an alligator's back. And others gave the lion a new hairdo. As for me, my mom swept me up in the air, and we laughed and laughed. Wow. Cool, huh? Look at that park. Wow. Look at all those animals. Everyone's enjoying themselves. Since that day, my parents and I meow and growl, we whiny and moo, we open our mouths wide and roar and laugh together. And if we have something important to say, we snort. How funny, said my mom, that the animals made us feel like we were human. Mr. Ponzio was our friend now. He fixed a lot of the broken stuff in my house, even my electric race car track. So do you see what I'm trying to say about disasters? When disasters strike, unbelievable things can really happen. And if you ask me, goodnight kisses and hugs and great new friends are definitely worth the mess. The end. So, here's what I want you to do with this book. This book, we're going to do something a little bit different. I want you to write 3 sentences, some capitals and punctuation, spell it as best as you can, on how the past 2 days, something positive, something good that came out of it. Maybe you went to mommy or daddy's work and you got to finally see what they do, and now you're really, really proud of them and what they do. Or maybe you went to somebody's house that you weren't really friends with before, and now you became friends. Me, personally, in the past 2 days, something good that came out of this was I cleaned my garage, which I really needed to do, and I needed time to do it. So I was able to do that. I miss you all very, very much, and I really, really hope I get to see everybody tomorrow. And don't forget to do your homework. I'll be checking. And I hope you all have an absolutely amazing day. And please don't forget to write 3 sentences on something positive, something good that came out of the past 2 days. Okay? See you all soon.